With it now being 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask you to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sullivan? Here. Mr. Halchanski? Here. Mrs. Vanderwater? Here. Ms. Lesniak? Mr. Tupper? Here. Ms. Saban?
Here. All right, can I get a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from the January 18th meeting, please?
Moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carried. And can I get a move to approve the regular meeting minutes from the February 1st
I'll
meeting?
make that move.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll abstain. Motion carried. Citizens' comments. Anybody signed up to speak, Lynn?
No.
Okay. All right. As to item 1 of the agenda, the board, can I get a motion to consider approval of the budget transfers for the end of fiscal year 22 as per the comptroller's memo?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? Just as we mentioned, overall the town ended up a total of $135,000 under budget for fiscal year 22, even after the final budget transfers were made. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 2, I'd like to recess the regular meeting and go into public hearing mode to consider passing of, or to consider local law B of 2023, which is regarding the tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters and ambulance staff. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we are now in public hearing mode. Last meeting on the 1st, the board introduced a potential change to our Chapter 180 exemptions law. This is looking to increase the actual tax exemption to 10% of assessed property value. And so it would take effect, if this passed, it would take effect for the 2024 tax roll as of March 1st of this year. Okay. Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor of this? Tony? Please, yeah, come over to the microphone and introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, board. My name is Tony McIntyre. I'm the fire chief of the Northwest Fire District here in town. I'm here to speak on behalf of the entire district and quite frankly, most of the fire chiefs in the town that we work for you. This program that the state is approved and the counties accepted as well, and now it's up to the local municipalities. It is a huge tool for us to A, keep some people, and B, to get some more people. I don't know if you have any idea, but to get a new person through the doors right now, to bring them up to speed, just in the first year, they got over 200 hours of just some everyday schools to take, not including everything else that goes along with becoming a volunteer firefighter, and quite frankly, even the ambulance personnel. We asked them to get up in the middle of the night, we asked them to leave their work, we asked them, by you guys and ladies and gentlemen doing this for us, it's just nothing but positive, and we can't thank you enough for even considering it, because we know that you do have a choice. So anything that we can do, anything that you can do is a big benefit. Again, I fully support it. If you can help us, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience like to speak in favor of this? Okay, is there anybody that would like to speak against this? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to go back into regular session, please?
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Moving on to number 3, consider the local law B of 2023. Can I get a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any other comments?
I just want to say that I fully support it. And I think one of the big things is what he just kind of spoke about, that we're going to bring the first responders directly into our community. Because in order to get this exemption, you have to live in the community where you serve. So it's not just that we're going to bring people that work for, I don't know, whatever AMR in the city or something like that. It's going to be people in our community that are responding to our community. And I think that's a very positive thing. And we need all the help we can get getting people like that.
And it's for volunteer ambulance and firefighters, and you have to reside at your property, and it's for service work within the town, so.
It's a small token of our appreciation too, to be able to, we appreciate your services.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would just recommend that you also make that same plea to the school district, because that's a separate item, and it'll have even greater impact if you are able to persuade the school district to make that same. So you're clearly persuasive, so I would recommend that you not quite stop.
May I respond?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'm on it. I've had a call into the district and started the ball rolling there. It's a little bit more challenging, to be frank with you. I'll just say it that way. Town of Lysander, we're going tomorrow, and they're on the same plate, and including the village of Waldensville. So quite frankly, the local community has got our back on this, and we just can't thank them enough.
Good
It's
luck.
funny that you say that, because we're the ones that should be thanking you. You dedicate your free time to do this, you don't get paid, and you risk your life every day for all the residents in this community. So
Thank you.
I don't know where everyone just went. But
They're on to another meeting, to be honest, actually training tonight.
we so appreciate having you in the community, and the fierceness of the force that you guys have together. It's a lifetime of dedication, and if there's anything more we could do, we would do it for you. So
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Check out the monument that's in front of the Beeville Police Department. So there's a monument that was an Eagle Scout project,
Okay,
specifically for first responders. So if you get a chance,
I will, for
check it
sure.
out.
I think there's a brick with my name on it.
Yeah, there it is.
I was at the breakfast a couple of weeks ago too, and I was impressed by the cadet program you have.
Yep.
And we have, I know we have sleepovers here. Don't we have rooms for the young people to live right there?
Howard, we had, just put it in perspective, we had just last week 40 hours in service, fully staffed, with a minimum of 4 guys for 40 hours this week for lunch. That's what it cost us for lunch.
Wow.
Put that in perspective. And we have a huge youth program. Our youth program started in 1970. So, and we still have kids that range from the age of 13 to 15. No, I'm close, 13 to 15, and then we have a youth program that runs 16 to 18. I might be off a year or two, but it's different. So we get them, we plant the seed, they go away to college, and sometimes they come back. Our current chief's line's again, I started in '83 as a junior fireman, and now I'm the chief of the department for the second time. I've got over 40 years.
Well, I know it's a family
So, and
operation.
it's just minimum. I have 15 guys that started our youth program back in the 80s. So things like this makes a difference.
Sure it does.
And right now, we have 19 residents that are receiving the existing exemptions, and so this will continue on for those folks.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the gentlemen here were from the ambulance corps, but we can't support them the way we do the fire department. We try, and they're included in this too. We do what we can for everybody. So I don't want to think anybody's left out of this.
Anything helps.
Yeah.
Say that enough.
Good.
Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Roll call vote.
Oh,
It's a
roll call?
roll call.
Mrs. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Halchanski?
Yes.
Mrs. Vanderwater?
Yes.
Mr. Tupper?
Yes.
Ms. Saban?
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, item 4, Mr. Gunder and Mr. Raymond are here regarding a zone change for the PUD for CNY Sports Center. Gentlemen, if you can just identify yourself.
Peter Raymond, 7661 Maple Road, and I own the CNY Family Sports Center at 7201 Jones Road.
My name is Cody Grunder. I reside at 7175 Jones Road. I'm Peter's neighbor.
I remember you came in to the planning board and wanted to shift your driveway or something, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to make an improvement to the house, rebuilding an attached garage.
So I'm gonna ask, why are they here and not before the planning board?
Because they are coming to the town board to ask for a zone change, which
And then
means
they'll go back to planning and then they'll finish it, so,
Possibly.
It's a PUD.
We're gonna hand out some stuff.
so,
why don't you give us an idea of what you're
Yeah, he's
planning
gonna,
on?
Kobe's gonna give you what we're requesting, and then some maps that you'll understand what we're looking for.
yeah, I sat through the planning board when he came, so I have an idea,
And we
but,
met with
Mark
Jim
and Jim?
and Mark,
Oh, okay,
yeah, last week.
all right.
Thank you.
So,
So essentially, I'm handing you the PUD itself, so you'll have the PUD in front of you. And then we have a complete survey of my 40-acre property, and we show Cody's property within the property. And then we've created, through the help of Doug Reef and CNY Surveying, this smaller survey of the actual lot that Cody owns. And he's been my neighbor for over 20 years, and I've owned the center for 27. And so the PUD describes the property and everything that my business can do and use within it. And then there's a section of it on the very last page, which I've highlighted, that talks about setbacks. And so if you go to 7B, the minimum distance between any structure, including an athletic field, on any lot line other than is set forth in subparagraph A, shall not be less than 50 feet. So everywhere that I build or even build an athletic field is set back 50 feet from any other structures. A is what we'd like to change or just eliminate altogether. There's 10 feet extra in there, and it's 60 feet, which was put in there when the Schultz family owned Kobe's home. And it was just something that they wanted to give it a little extra distance, an extra 10 feet between my closest athletic fields and their property. And Kobe didn't realize that, like, I think you thought that all the land inside the fence was owned by him. And when he realized he was going to build an addition onto his garage, and we show it in there in the drawing of what the garage currently is, and the additional 10 feet we'd like to add to it. And so we wouldn't need any, he wouldn't need any variances, he wouldn't need any additional work done, other than to eliminate A. And we've lived side by side for 20 years now. Occasionally has to throw a ball back, but that's very rare. I put up netting all around his property. And we're asking that if you could eliminate A and move it so that B is the only restriction for setback. He as the neighbor agrees that that's fine with him. I as the owner of the land agree that I think that's fine. And if you look at the drawings, I can show you that we still have a 5-foot setback from a shed that was placed, it was actually placed on my land. He didn't realize it was his land. So the 5-foot setback from there is still 6 feet, and there's still a 10-foot setback. These are from property lines, from the side yard. And then there's still 50 feet, it kind of goes off the drawing where it shows the side of my athletic field, because I haven't put it on legal paper. And same with Field 6 here, which is the field west of his house. There's 50 feet to the sideline, and there's 50 feet to the end line of the other field. So we're still within the PUD guidelines if we use Part B as the only setback.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this was written for fire safety reasons concerning buildings. And I'm surprised to see that it includes fields too, because there's no danger to the neighbor at all.
Correct.
So is the gravel drive and the shed yours?
Yes.
And where are you proposing the garage?
It shows it.
On the south side.
The proposed addition?
Yeah, the south side.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here is the existing building.
Yep, I'm here at Jones. Here's the
Yeah,
road.
here's the existing one.
Yep.
And he'd like to add it to there.
Still.
So he's adding
So
that.
he's gonna push
That's
this
just-
out here.
He's gonna push it out, it'll allow him to add another vehicle into the garage.
Okay, and then,
And in the back, he's already got his shed on my land. So we're just kind of correcting that and allowing, and that's electrified and everything, so we're just kind of making that legal. That'll be
putting that into his,
putting it into his property.
alright.
And on this side, which I'm just giving him all the land because this goes up to a retention pond over here. There's no field. So it's just a field here and here.
So why wouldn't you want to just,
He's just going to the fence. Well, he's leaving a little extra, so
Okay.
I'm responsible for maintaining the fence.
yeah, okay, got it, thank you.
So the role of this board, since we understand now what you would like to do, our role is to send this over to the planning board for their formal recommendation to come back here. And then, because it's a PUD, we would have to do another public hearing.
Local law.
And turns it in another local law. It was a local law when it was created 25 years ago or whatever. So because it changes a local law, we have to have another public hearing and create it as another local law.
It's the law of equivalency. You amend how you created, and this will also require referral to council.
So Nadine, I just want to walk through this to make sure I understand. Mr. Raymond's property needed to be a PUD for him to create the sports center, so that is already a PUD. He just wants that existing PUD for his sports center changed to allow this,
Subdivision to occur.
the setbacks for this.
Yeah, the
Subdivision.
Without
Yeah, it's gotta be-
amending the PUD, he can't satisfy the setbacks that are in that PUD,
Mhm.
and that will not allow the subdivision to occur as proposed by Mr. Grunder.
Is his property in the PUD?
I
No.
don't believe so, no.
So-
But because you can't, if he subdivides the property as proposed, to take a little bit of Mr.
Raymond. Yeah.
Raymond's property,
The
he
P-
will
his
screw up
PUD.
his
Yep, got
setbacks,
it.
so that's it.
I got it. Okay, so what is it that you need?
So what we need to do is make a motion to send your request for a PUD change to the planning board.
With no objections?
Well, no, we send it to them, they come back with a recommendation, and then we decide whether or not to go forward with the zone change.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so this is just a notification for us.
Yes, this is a notification that they would like
I
to
thought it
have.
required approval.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Joe, second.
Is that county?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carried. So
Yeah.
we will send this to the planning board. I don't know if you'll be on the next meeting, because they just had their meeting last night,
Okay.
but we will get that to them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to expedite it so he can build his garage.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
The way it
Item 5 is to consider the acceptance of a donation from Eagle Scout Kevin Callahan to construct a kiosk at the Harbor Heights Town Park. Can I get a motion for that?
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Discuss it?
Well,
Oh, we're
no.
discussing.
Well, we're doing the motion, so,
Comments.
yes, Mike, why don't you go?
Okay, so what this is about is, first of all, Kevin Callahan is a Eagle Scout candidate from Troop 107. He's working on his Eagle Scout project, and approximately, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, the Harbor Heights Homeowners Association president contacted me, because I've been affiliated with Boy Scouts in the past, as you guys all know, asking if there was any Eagle Scout candidates who might want to work on a kiosk, an informational kiosk. So it's going to be similar to all the DEC kiosks that you see. It's going to be 6x6 posts, and then framework with corkboard, and then plexiglass. That's basically going to be, and a little roof structure that's going to be used for the homeowners association to post notices, and obviously, since it's town property, for the town to post notices. It's going to be controlled by the homeowners association. So he's already, Kevin himself, the Eagle candidate, has met with the Parks Director and with Chris. They're both going to work with them to figure out where, and they've already actually figured out an area where they want to put it, where it wouldn't be disruptive towards the maintenance of the park and that sort of thing. It's going to be paid for by donations. Anybody who knows the Eagle Project, part of the project is to raise the money for the actual project. So it's going to be paid for by donations that he gets, bottle drives or whatever and so forth. So it's not going to cost the town anything. Chris has already said it's not going to really cause any additional maintenance issues. It's not going to create any problems with mowing or anything. Between Chris and Parks, they're going to figure out how they can help him out as far as maybe digging holes or that sort of thing. So it's not going to cost the town anything. It's going to be a nice addition to the park, but it's town-owned, obviously.
No utilities involved?
No utilities involved, nope. And the area that Chris recommended specifically does not have utilities. They're still going to do the 211, 411, whatever it is, to make sure that everything's clear. But there's not going to be any utilities involved with it. There's no electric or anything.
I was just concerned about lighting, about power usage, and there won't be.
Oh, there won't be any power, no additional power usage at all for it, just whatever the park already.
That was my question.
Yep.
Okay.
So he anticipates this will be done in the spring, maybe in April to May. He'd like to get it done as soon as possible, obviously, because he's excited about becoming an Eagle Scout, which he should be.
That's awesome.
So he's been working again with Heidi and with Chris. He's working with me only because I'm on the Parks Committee and because I'm familiar with the whole process. And that's about it. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Kevin did come before the Parks Committee, and Heidi and Chris were there. And from the Parks Committee, we have all said that this is something we would like to have donated to the town. Long-term, the kiosk will be maintained by the Harbor Heights Association, so there won't be any long-term cost to the town as well.
Correct.
So.
Is he gonna have his award ceremony here at the town hall?
Well, one thing I did tell him is he is going to have to, once he's completed, he is going to have to come in front of the town board so that we can recognize him.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we did say that we would certainly try and get the messenger here to do an article on him as well. So.
Nice.
I think it's a win-win for everybody, really. The town is we're going to benefit from the kiosk. The Harbor Heights Homeowners Association is going to benefit. It was something they specifically asked for, and he'll do all the work for us.
Any other questions by the board? No? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Nice young man and a little quiet, but we pulled out the information from him and he's very excited to have this go forward.
And I personally know Kevin since he was about 10 years old. Now he's, I don't know, 15, 16. And it's funny because if anybody you know him, he's about this tall. When I first met him, he was about this tall. So he grew a little bit. But this is a kid who's like 14, 15 years old who's planning a project, which is, it really is, the whole Eagle process is just a very cool process. So I can't stress that enough. And I won't get into Boy Scouts, so. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I have a penciled in number 6. This is to appoint Robert Grover as a new town councilor effective February 25th, 23. It happens to be the start of a pay period. So,
What was the date?
February 25th of this year. Can I get a,
I'll make a motion.
Yep, I'll second it.
okay, any other questions?
I'll
Okay.
just comment that I've known Bob for quite a while, and I think he would be a great addition to the board.
Local business owner, so, yep, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will see you up here at the table on the meeting of the 1st, March 1st.
So Bob, you have to sit next to Wendy.
Yeah, right over here. Right over here.
You've been to a lot of our meetings.
Yeah. Lynn, put them at the end of the roll call.
All right, council committee reports. Howard?
I have nothing.
Jenny?
I have something. Onondaga County's community development has a program that's called Shape Up for Veterans. This program is for veteran homeowners. There is no age requirement, and it is for veterans to be able to make necessary home repairs. The max is $15,000. There is a criteria. There is one, you have to have an honorable discharged individuals who served in the U.S. military, own and occupy your home for at least a full year, update your property taxes should be current, and insurance on the home should be current. There's a criteria for annual gross income based upon family. And there is information on the onondagagov.net website, and it's also going to be on our website, and it's also being sent out to all of the veterans in our community. So I'm very excited, and I know we all are very excited that this is helping our veterans.
Thank you. Does it include the type of projects that will be approved?
It does, actually. It's mechanical systems, structural, so it could be roof or foundation. It also is life safety and energy related, as well as lead hazard reduction. So there's a criteria. You have to have, your contractor has to be approved by the community development, as well as the lead certified by EPA. But it's a really good program. I think that it's really a great opportunity for the veterans to be able to make necessary repairs to their homes.
And Jenny, are you sending letters out?
The letters are being sent out from our office here.
Yeah.
Michelle's doing the labels.
Okay.
Yep.
So those applicable, those veterans,
Yes, Teresa has already pulled the list for us,
Right.
and so we've got them ready to go to those specific people.
great, thank you. Thank you for doing that.
That's all I have.
Mike? Anything else?
And did you already talk about the parks meeting that we had
No.
before?
No.
Okay, do you mind if I
Go
speak on
ahead,
it
yep.
then? Okay, so we had a parks meeting back on the 19th, I believe it was, January. Among the things we discussed was baseball field regrading is almost done with that. Chris specifically mentioned that the highway department did a great job, and they really helped out a lot. They put a lot of work into leveling it all out and the equipment and so forth. We're working on a deck at the lake that will be handicap accessible.
That's in the grant.
That's in the grant, I'm sorry. So that we haven't started that, but
Right, it's
something
we
to
are in
consider.
round 5 of submissions at this point.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
We discussed the pavilions, the new pavilions, how they're being set up and so forth. That's going well, and I believe they've been working with Jason on that stuff.
The highway did all the grading for us, so we appreciate their help in that.
Thank you for filling this in, because I'm trying to remember all this stuff from that long ago. There was something about the instructors for the pool. They're looking for instructors
For
for the
instructors for all
programs, the activities
programs.
and so
Yeah.
forth. Okay. And they were talking about getting brochures made up and putting them in the schools.
They're hoping to get it in for the summer program, yes. Yep.
Glad I was so informative.
You
That's
know,
all,
we were
thank you.
both there, so no problem. Wendy?
I have nothing.
Okay. I have nothing at this point. Are you here, Steve, on behalf of Doug?
It would be Keith.
Or
Keith.
Why do I keep calling you Steve? I don't know. Do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Jason?
Our Connors Road culvert replacement project should be gearing up here in the next couple of weeks. The contractor's ready to get started, and we'll see some activity out there. And once they have the dates and when they're going to close the road, we'll be contacting the emergency services and schools and such, so that they're aware of the closure there.
And we just got the approval from the Department of Labor for whatever we had asked for.
So they can work overtime, yeah, that's the way to sign off on that.
That came in today, so, okay. Nadine?
I have nothing unless any of the board members have a question.
Did we skip over Teresa?
No, we weren't gonna have her do a report.
Do you want to do a report? Do you want us to do this?
You can if you want, it's up to you.
If you'd like,
Oh,
I mean,
Let me grab my notes here. Basically, just to give you an idea of what's been going on in the assessor's office, and if you haven't noticed, we have had a lot of changes to exemptions, and they've all happened this past fall. The confirmed trends for 2023 assessment roll from the state are going to be residential plus 5%, which I think is a gift. Commercial is plus 5% and vacant is plus 8%. Our level of assessment and our equalization rate is projected to be 95% for 2023 because we're not doing the annual thing and maintaining 100%.
Teresa, can I, excuse me,
Sure.
that 95% would have still kept us in if we were still trying to accomplish 100%?
No, it will not. No, instead of 100, we, because our ratios have gone down by, 5%, 8%, whatever the case is, we have a 5% tolerance, but 95 is not 100 anymore. Before, if we were at 95, between 95 and 100, it was 100, but we're not because we've slid backwards a little bit.
Okay.
So it will be 95, not 100. Okay. Our timeline is going to be a little different this year. All of our changes to assessments or our inventory are going to be done by the end of March. Our tentative change of assessment notices are going to be mailed by the week of April 17th, with informal meetings the week of April 24th and May 1st. Tentative roll is always on or before May 1st, and grievance day is always by appointment on Tuesday, May 23rd. Our major changes to legislation in 2022 by the state: senior citizen and persons with disabilities, increase of income limits on the sliding scale to a maximum of $50,000. That's what the state did. At this point, the county has not done that. But the town of Van Buren raised that income limit to the $37,400 earlier this year. And that matches with Onondaga County, the same sliding scale that Onondaga County and also the town of Lysander have. The senior citizen exemptions requirement for a second notice. And actually, the legislation called for a second notice to all property owners. That's the way the legislation was written. The first notice being on the back of the tax bill. If you turn it over, there's a little blurb in there about the senior citizen exemption. And we do get calls about that occasionally. So the second notice was to go to everyone. After consultation with the supervisor, I thought that I really wasn't comfortable wasting taxpayer money sending notices to people that were not 65, because you have to be 65. So we came up with a compromise where we actually sent notices to anyone that has the enhanced star, because those are the people that are 65, we know they're 65, or they wouldn't qualify for the enhanced star, who didn't already have that senior citizen exemption. Because the people that have that senior citizen exemption get a renewal from us every year, and we send them postcards if they do forget and they haven't come in. We've mailed out postcards, and then if we don't get them to come in, by the next week or so, we're going to be making phone calls. So they get more than a second notice in that case. So we have mailed approximately 700 notices to property owners that were in that group of enhanced star people that didn't already qualify for this, that didn't already have the senior citizen exemption. Some of them are coming in and their income is too high, but we have signed up a few new ones. So overall, it's not a bad idea. So that's basically the compromise we came up with. And the volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers exemption, changing from what we currently have, that was a piecemeal, only certain counties had it. It's now a statewide standardized option. And tonight we did the public hearing and voted on that. And you have attached an exemption administration summary for 2022 that gives you a little bit of information on those things. And I earned 36 hours of continuing education credit during 2022. And the warnings that were on my report from last year have been removed, and I am in good standing for 21, 22, and 23. And there is a continuing education report attached. And I'll entertain questions.
Teresa, I have a question. So the seniors, let me understand this, the seniors that you sent the letters to have to come into you to set up a meeting and go over to see if they qualify for the senior.
Yes, we actually can do it over the phone. We've done some of them over the phone. What we sent to them was a cover letter that was detailed about what we were trying to do, what the income limit was. No, we're not at the state level. We sent the state flyer that's an informational, it's 3 pages. We did it back to back, so we got it on 2 sheets of paper. And we also sent the town of Van Buren's local law that shows that sliding scale that we just passed, with the 37.4 being the maximum. And so we sent all of that out. We're getting phone calls. We're getting people in some cases, they call and we can say, okay, these are the lines on your tax return that we add, that we count. And a lot of them can, do the math, and we can tell them over the phone whether or not they qualify. They don't need an appointment, they just, come in during normal hours. And it takes a couple minutes to look at their income or to walk them through what we actually count for the senior citizen exemption. And then if they do qualify, then, we get them the application so that they can fill it out and get it back to us.
And that's based upon their 2022?
No, 2021.
2021.
And that is because our filing deadline is March 1st.
Right.
And most people are just starting to think about their 2022 taxes right now.
And so that's going to be the same type of procedure for the firemen and the first responders? That
Yes,
they'll get a letter and they'll be coming?
the existing exemptions that we have, those 19, they will just automatically be converted to the new exemption. There's a new code, new forms, the state's coming up with new forms. Those 19, because they're going to sunset in less than 3 years if we didn't do anything, they will just be converted to the new exemption and recalculated. After that, I do not believe there's an annual renewal with this one as opposed to the other one.
Yes,
But-
there was in the
Is there?
local law,
I
yes.
believe there is actually.
Yeah, is there?
The way the state has changed it.
Yeah, they're still coming out with the details. So if there is a renewal process for those 19 and how many more ever we end up with, we take care of that. We basically, whatever the renewal process turns out to be, it's still shaken out in most cases. We send the forms to them. We get the information from the fire departments. Are these people members? How many years have they been in? And that kind of thing. And we do that every year before March 1st.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a question, I'm not sure if it's for you. I know we had just added 2 new members to the
I
BAR.
was just gonna ask that.
Who's keeping in touch with them about their training and, the grievance day? Who's helping them?
The county, as soon as the information on the new members goes to that is sent by Lynn in conjunction with my office, we send that to the county, and the county sets up training. It is held in April, and it's in the town of Salina in their office building. I don't have the date right in front of me, but it's usually the middle part of April. And if they can't attend that training, they can go to another county's training, okay? But they have to attend that training before they can actually sit on the board.
So do you give them a call and follow up for them to make sure they've signed up for the training?
The county does all that.
The county will?
The
Okay.
county does the training end of it,
Understood.
and they do it for all the towns, obviously, in Onondaga County.
Understood.
And then I get documentation from the county of whether or not they went to training. And I usually send them out a letter the first week in May, usually about the time the tentative roll is out, letting them know what grievance day is looking like. This is how grievance day works. Call me if you have any questions. This is the date.
Okay, great.
And that gets them up to speed on, when you need to come and, reminds them of the day.
Perfect, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions for Teresa?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in to do that.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
I actually look forward to you doing that.
Okay. Can I get a motion then to adjourn to the next regular board meeting on Wednesday, March 1st.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you all for coming.